Welcome back. This evening we are going to be talking with Ezra, the voice of reason. We're going to be expecting him at 8 o'clock, so just under 15 minutes, when we are going to be talking about mindset and motivation. And he's going to share some gems, as always he does. Okay, so welcome in. And if you've not come across the community before, we are a community that meet up on a regular basis, and this is a safe space that you can be listened to and understood about your menopause journey. We don't always talk about menopause, but that's the main bulk of it. We talk about it. So just before 8 o'clock, before we welcome our guest speaker on, we can just got enough time for some questions if you had any questions. But yeah, do let everyone know that we are here. We're going to be listening in with Ezra, the voice of reason, this evening. If you are new to the community, do let me know. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you for joining. Who have we got here? Is it Anna? Is that how you pronounce your name? You've got a capital J there. Karina, welcome. So this is the Menopause Wellness Community. So if you've got questions about the menopause, whether you are navigating through it already or whether you're about to embark on your menopause journey, so ask away. So at 8 o'clock we're going to have a guest speaker, and this is a kind of a different live this evening because this is the last in our scheduled lives, because after today we normally meet 3 evenings a week, normally on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays at 8 o'clock. After this evening we are going to be going and doing just impromptu lives. That's what we're going to be doing. So it's going to be as and when. And we'll still be doing our menopause drop-ins, and just to check in with everyone. And if you've got any questions, you're still going to be able to share your stories, speak your truth. You're still going to be able to come up and have a discussion, or if you want to share something specific, that's still going to be the same. But rather than the scheduled 3 evenings a week, we're going to be just doing it as and when. Cool guy, hi. Absolutely, yeah. So perimenopause generally starts around the age of 45 to 55. However, you can start sooner. I started my perimenopause, like yourself, at 42. I knew I was in perimenopause because I started experiencing night sweats. I went to the GP and I actually got sent away 3 times. After the 3rd time, I just walked away. So I navigated my perimenopause, the menopause itself. By the way, menopause is only 1 day in the journey, and then postmenopause. And I've been in postmenopause for about 5-6 years now. And when does it stop? For some women, once you're in postmenopause, it doesn't mean that your symptoms just disappear. Sometimes your symptoms will decline. Some symptoms may go away. With me personally, in postmenopause, I've still got 3 of my symptoms, which, do you know what, is not bad, because I had double figures. My symptoms were in double figures, and now I've only got 3. So it's not too bad. Brain fog, hot flushes and night sweats. But I'm navigating through them. I'm finding what works for me, and I've found some things that helps me. And this is the thing, it's a journey inside a journey. But absolutely you can go into perimenopause at the age of 42. In the UK and the US, typically it's 51, but there are warriors in this community that I think the youngest person is 28, 29. But absolutely, because this year I had to Okay, so what you're explaining there, the gaps in between your cycles, this is what we call erratic cycles, because that's not normal for you. Normally we are either 21 days every 27 days, however, but the gaps, that is classical signs of perimenopause. If you are concerned about it, what I would say to you, suggest to you, is go and speak to your GP about it. But also, when you go and speak to your GP about it, please go armed with information, because typically GPs only have 1 hour of menopause training. Thank you for the heartbeat, menopause training. So they may not be aware of some uncommon symptoms of perimenopause, menopause. I'm going to say postmenopause in that mixed as well. So go armed with information. Be a really good advocate for yourself. And if your GP sends you away, I got sent away 3 times. And there is research that states, shows evidence that a woman typically sees her GP 10 times before she is taken seriously about her menopause. That's 1 too many times. So go armed. If you're getting sent away, go and get a second opinion. You're entitled to a second opinion. So I hope that's helped. Greetings, Ezra. You are with us. Hey, I'm going to get you up here. Let me just send you. Let me send you. Do you know what? My brain, I've forgotten how to do this. There we go. Here we go. My goodness me. Do you know what? I've been so chilled this evening. Hey, Ezra, I'm going to get you into speak. Let me get you into a proper speaker now. Okay, I'm going to do what I need to do. There we go. Here we go. Get co-host. No. I hope you're well. Oh, I can see you, but I want you to come on here different. Here we go. You know, when I had to just think about this.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. So 2 panels. Gosh, there's so many full screen. Let me do this. Is that better? No. We're getting there. We're getting there. I like the 2 full screens. We're not having anyone else with us this evening. 2 full screens. Let me see. It's not giving me a choice of
I think you what was the options again? I think
full screen. Full screen. You got options of full screen, fluid panel.
Is it fluid panel?
No, that's just you down there. You're not having you down there. You're worthy more than that, definitely. Yeah, do you know what? For some reason, it's not giving me.
I think there's something you need to click when you first open it up to say, I think, or unclick something. I can't remember what the options are. When you first go into it to change the viewpoint, what does it say?
You know, they're always changing this. It's got the layout there, the settings and the layouts. And it's normally, I'm trying to see if it's just 2 panels, but it's giving me a fluid grid and a fluid panel, but the full screen is just myself. You're not on there. I don't know what's going on. Do you know they changed this up so many times, you know?
Yeah.
I can't keep up with it. Let me see this. No, that's not it. Yeah, they've changed this up so many times. But while I'm getting up my grips to this, I will get it. I will get there. How have you been anyway?
I've been good. I've been very busy. So renovating the house. So we're at the last stages. So the wardrobes were built up today. So I spent all of today just putting all the clothes in the wardrobes.
Oh, wow.
Cleaning up, and then my study room is finished now. So I built up the chest of drawers to go in there and the stuff, my shoe boxes. So all day. I luckily just looked at my phone and it said the reminder about I'm doing a live day. I was like, oh my God. That's why I called you earlier, because I was like, you know, but I've just been in the zone. But yeah, still bits to do, but got a lot done
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Oh no, that's good. That's good. And you know what? I'm glad because I was going to come on a bit earlier this evening. And do you know what? And I'm always saying to everyone in the community, listen to your body, right?
Mm, mm,
And my body said to me, Jackie, you need to just rest, keep your bum still.
yeah,
And so that's what I did. I listened to my
yeah,
body and I was just still. And when I heard the phone going, and my husband said, your phone's going. And I looked around, I saw your name, and I said, oh my gosh, yeah. I didn't even realize the time. I was just so chilled and just
mm,
calm. And sometimes
mm.
we need to be still, don't we?
Absolutely,
We so need to
absolutely.
be stilled. I don't know what's going on, Ezra, with this thing, but these. Hold on a minute. There's one thing I didn't press here. No, that's not. I'm glad we can see you.
Yeah,
But yeah, this TikTok, I can't keep up with it because it changes every 5 minutes.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
That's fine. We
Um,
can roll with this. It's not a problem.
yeah, okay. We can see you. We can see you, and we're
Mm.
not inviting anyone else up here anyway. So I am so happy. Again, welcome you to the community, and I'm really happy that you was able to take some time out. How long have we got you this evening? How long are you gracing us with your presence?
An hour.
Oh, fantastic.
Mm.
So, this is a kind of special for me personally, and because this, we used to meet up every 3 evenings a week,
Mm.
and we were doing scheduled lives. We're no longer going to be doing scheduled lives anymore.
Okay.
We are going to be doing impromptu lives because,
Right.
again, I'm listening to my body.
Mm.
I'm just kind of changing the way things are. I've been
Yeah.
doing a lot of things. And,
Mm.
sometimes when you do so much things, you start to take a step back and realize that actually I'm not having enough time for me. I'm not
Yeah.
having enough time for my
Yeah.
loved ones. And
Yeah.
things have to be
Mm.
prioritized, right?
Absolutely. I'm at the same place, you know.
Wow.
I'm at the same place. I'm gonna. I just said to myself, like in the new year and everything. I'm not gonna be on all of the social media platforms like I normally do because I post on
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I said I'm gonna just step back. So, TikTok, I'm still gonna be doing my lives twice a week.
Yeah.
But I was posting videos every day. If I
Mm,
feel like doing it on a day, I will. Facebook, I was doing stories
yeah.
and messages and reels, and it's like maybe twice a week if I feel
Yeah.
like it. But yeah, gonna cut back, man. Cut back. We
Yeah.
have to.
I just posted today a community message, just wishing everyone, that, well, not so much even wishing everyone a good holiday, to be honest with you, because not everyone celebrates this time of year,
Mm,
which
mm,
is, I totally understand that.
mm,
So it was just reminding everyone that this is a time to kind of like rest, reflect, and just
mm,
breathe for a bit,
yeah,
and to kind of let go of the things that no longer serve you.
mm,
Try and make space for new beginnings, and
yeah,
just because we're always, life is life, isn't it?
mm,
And we're always seem to be taking on so many things and not realizing just how much we have taken on,
yeah,
and to just have a moment to stop and reflect and actually, does this serve me any purpose anymore? And
yeah,
if
yeah.
it doesn't, what am I doing with it? Let me
Mm,
just let it go.
mm,
Let me let it go and make some space for something fresh. Because I think sometimes when you got so many things going on in your life and you're not able to pause and declutter,
mm,
then you are not making space. Anything that is for you, it wants to be there for you, but you're not allowing it in because you're so cluttered. You're so
yeah.
cluttered with everything else.
Yeah, yeah. And I think as well, in line with that, is that when we're going through these changes or we're sensing that we need to change certain things, and I'm
Mm,
realizing this in so many different areas, that how much sometimes unintentionally and unconsciously we become tied to those things we're doing, that they become a part of our identity. And it's only
Absolutely.
when you are going to try to stop or turn away from it that you realize how much it actually has you enslaved, rather than it being something that you
Yeah.
just enjoy doing. It was like that in the beginning,
Yeah.
but it can slowly become this thing now where it's ruling you and you have to do this thing, rather than this thing that you love to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I just think it's just so important for us to stop and recognize, because I think sometimes one of the most challenging things to do is actually be critical or give yourself constructive criticism, right?
Mm,
Because many times we can tend to beat ourselves up about things and not be constructive about what's going on.
mm,
And it can be damaging as well.
mm.
But yeah, it's time. I think it's that time for uh, bringing in the new and getting rid of what you is no longer for you anymore.
Yeah.
And that
And
meaning the people, and you know, I I I, I always do this. What do I call it? Contact cleanse.
mm,
Yeah, I mentioned
mm.
it before.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always do
yeah.
a contact cleanse at the end, coming up to the end of the year, where I go through my phone. It used to be my diary many years ago, and
Mm,
just look at it and think, do you know what? That person's no longer serving a purpose. That
yeah,
person's no longer, and just end it there.
yeah, yeah. And it's okay,
Yeah,
it's okay. Like,
absolutely.
yeah, like even today as I'm cleaning up and, going through everything, and it's like, nah, let go of that. Like, there's certain things I was just holding on to, and it's like, but why? And it's like, nah, let go
Yeah.
of that. Free up yourself, man. Because we don't realize sometimes how much those things are holding us back.
Yeah, that is true.
They're
That is
stopping us from being
absolutely.
able to go to the next place or to receive the next thing,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
And this is why it's so important to make, like, you decluttering, right? It,
Yeah.
because if you're
Deep,
not
deep
cluttered,
decluttering.
exactly, exactly. It's like having that bag full of tools,
Yeah.
and half of those tools in that tool bag you probably don't even use. You probably don't even know what they are,
Exactly.
what the function's for. So
Yeah.
actually, do we really need them?
Mm,
So if we get rid of them, if we can actually get rid of things that are no longer serving a purpose to us, then it definitely makes space for new things to come in. Whereas if we don't get rid of them, when the new things, new beginnings arrive, we're not going to be ready to receive it.
mm, yeah.
You know,
And I
we're
think,
really not.
oh, sorry, go on.
No, go on, go on.
I was going to say, you're absolutely right.
Mm,
And the second area is doing that exactly same thing inwardly.
yes, absolutely.
The mindsets, the attitude, the beliefs,
Absolutely.
the identity, all of
Mm,
those things that are sometimes will maybe serving us for a moment and a time and a period and a season, and they're now outdated. It might be something that got us through while we was just in a phase of, trauma or fear or anxiety, and we use whatever mechanism to get us through it. But it's like it's outdated now. The identity, is it outdated? Does it serve you? How do we see ourselves when we look in the mirror? Not what the reflection shows us, but
yeah,
how do we see ourselves? How do you think about yourself? I was listening to something, TikTok live the other day, and the guy was talking about identity. He was talking about mindsets and stuff, and he said what one of the tools he gave. He said is that every morning,
yeah.
if you want to do it in the morning, whatever time, but he was saying in the morning, and I like to do my stuff in the morning. He said for 3 minutes, time yourself, and for 3 minutes, sit in silence
Mm,
and think about who you are going to be through the day. Not who you was, not what you didn't do, not what, problems you might face, but who are you going to be today? How are
mm.
you going to show up? And visualize that. And I started doing it, and it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Because as I always talk about, that when the mind goes, the energy flows. And when you visualize something, the research shows it's no different than if you actually do it. So
Yeah.
through neuroplasticity, you are actually conditioning your mind
Hmm.
in the same way as if you actually did it. So when you go to do it, it's much easier to do.
Yeah. That is true. That is very true. I just, yeah, I feel that it's when you are, it's like putting on, when I do coaching with clients, and I always ask a question, um, who would you want to be like?
Mm,
And kind of like give yourself permission to be that person.
mm,
That's just giving you like an example what you just mentioned already.
yeah.
So yeah, it is powerful. It is absolutely
Mm,
powerful. And I think you've got to have that mindset. Like you said about mindset, you've got to have that mindset to want to do that, because there's no point doing it half-heartedly,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
then it's not going to be of benefit if you do it half-hearted. I'm always saying again, if a chef is not in the mood to cook, don't cook, because the
Mm,
food ain't going to taste great,
mm,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So it's really important. But
Yeah.
I feel that, do you know what would you say that, for stepping into a new chapter, we're going to call 2026 a new chapter,
Mm.
what would be the main characteristics to bring into 2026 around mindset and motivation?
Okay. So the first thing I would say is that the change in times, yeah,
Mhm.
is something that just happens. So I would say to people, don't wait until 2026,
Mm, that's
right?
true.
That's the first thing. Don't wait until then.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to wait until eat and until then. You're not going to wait to go to, you're not going to do anything else. And, so that's the first thing, right?
Yeah.
I think the second thing is that focus on what is truly important to you. And
Mm,
sometimes that's so hard to do because there is the people who've got their own views and opinions of what should be important to you. There is all of the different tasks that you've got to do. There's all of these different things, and they build up and they build up and they build up. And what
yeah.
can happen is we can get lost in other people's priorities,
Yeah. That's true.
right? So I think it's really important to find what is important to you. And that's part of the reason why I've said I'm going to cut down on all this stuff, because when you're just always doing,
Mhm.
there's no time for reflection,
Yeah.
you
Absolutely.
know? And so, yeah, I would say the first thing is start now and start thinking about what is really important to you.
Mm.
And once you find out what that thing is that's really important to you, I would say, because Rome wasn't built in a day, but I would say invest some time each day on that thing,
Mm.
whatever it is. If it's rest, if it's mindfulness, if it's your partner, whatever it is. And that's what I'm going to be doing. The things that are important to me, I'm going to be investing time regularly in them, and
Yeah.
just be consistent in it. It doesn't, in one thing I'll say, intensity versus consistency
Hmm.
is the thing that people often get wrong. So people go with intensity for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
New Year's resolution, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days or
Yeah.
3 times a week for 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
then the flatline. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it is about the consistency. Even if you do it small amounts, even if you
Mhm.
did 1 minute of mindfulness every
Yeah.
day, and you did that for 365 days in the year, you'd be much better off than if you did 10 minutes for 2 weeks and stopped.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100% makes sense, right?
Mm,
Consistency comes up a lot, doesn't it?
yeah. Yeah.
It is so important. And along with consistency, you mentioned that key word in being intentional.
Mm,
That came up in the community message today about being intentional, you know.
mm,
Yeah, so okay, so we've got about prioritizing that one thing, what is important. And I'm really hoping that, everyone is able to fully understand. No, everyone is able to know what's important to them, because you know what? I speak to some people sometimes and they actually don't know. It's like
Mm,
asking that question, do you love yourself?
yeah.
And someone will sit there and look at me and not answer yet. That's 2 seconds too long you took to answer that. Do you understand?
Yeah. So I think part of the problem is a bit around time management
Mm,
and a bit around being led by other people for so long that we
mhm.
don't lead ourselves,
Yeah,
right?
true. I hear that.
So what I often say to people is, if you had, with all of the things you've got to do for you, me, whoever it is, on whatever day it is, and you feel, oh my God, I've got so much. And if it
Mm,
was like you had 24 hours to live,
mm,
okay? And just say you've got 6 things to do, and you said you could only get 3 things done
yeah,
before you transition, which 3 would you choose?
that's a good question.
And those 3 would choose, do them.
Yeah,
Because if you know you've only got a short period of time, you're not going to worry about what people think and say. You're going to do the things that actually really are important to you.
yeah, that is true. That is true. So I suppose having that approach to it will get you doing things more intentionally, really.
Absolutely. And aligned with your values.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to look at it, actually. That is a good way to look at it. Um, using those out of the 6 things, what are the 3 things that you're gonna do? Because you've got that time, you're on a time clock, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what
I
are
like what Claire put there. She said, I would be in one room with my family and I wouldn't want anything or anyone else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's
Mm,
about spending time. And I think I had a conversation with Claire recently actually about spending more time with family. And I feel sometimes that you've got to stop and have a time where you are reflecting on what is important to you, like you just said,
mm.
what is important to you. And I believe sometimes we don't ask ourselves those questions, and we need
No.
to be asking ourselves the right questions.
Yeah. A lot of the time, I don't think we're asking ourselves that question because we're just
Yeah,
caught up in the rat race.
yeah,
Just do, and it's like sometimes we just need to stop. And like even sometimes when we do stop, we realize actually I don't even enjoy doing this. Like I'm doing all this stuff and I don't even like it. Like when I don't know the point when it
yeah,
changed from
yeah.
me liking it to me just doing it in auto drive. But
Mm.
it's only when you stop that you get a chance to realize, you know.
No, you do. Yeah, you do. I think it's this mindset thing, this whole mindset thing. It is so I don't think people realize how important it is,
Yeah,
or how big of a driver it is
yeah,
to achieving things, doing things, being intentional. And even the words we speak into ourselves
mm,
is absolutely important as well. And I'm
yeah,
always going on the fact that, be kind to yourself, give yourself grace, give yourself compassion. It's okay. Do you know what? It's okay to make those mistakes. It's okay
mm,
to mess up.
mm,
Um, these things, when we mess up, they're lessons, right? They're
yeah,
valuable lessons.
yeah.
So it's okay to do that.
Yeah, and so there's 2 things here. The first thing when you spoke about mindset,
Mm,
and one of the ways how I help people to understand its importance is if we are cars, our mindset is the ignition,
mm, yeah.
right? So unless you start the ignition, you go nowhere.
Yeah, that is very true.
You're going nowhere, and that's it. If your mindset ain't right, you're going nowhere,
Yeah.
right? And so it's really important about getting our mindset right because it is the foundation. That's why I always say the mind is the battlefield.
Yeah.
The second part that you said about people worrying about failing and stuff like that, your mindset plays a key role in that, because when something happens, when it doesn't go according to plan, you can either say, this was a great lesson that I've learned, another way how to do this, or you can say, I'm a failure. I got it wrong. And that all depends on your mindset.
That is
And the
true.
truth is, those people who are successful, I always say this, in any field or industry, know that they're going to fail, but they
Mm.
fail forwards and they fail quickly so that they can get to success.
Yeah,
That's the only difference between someone who's a champion and someone who isn't. Someone who's successful and someone isn't. That's it.
yeah. That is true, you know. I think even when I look back on my own career in terms of businesses, and I've had businesses and they've not worked, and you know what, I just say, right, it wasn't meant to be. Let's move on to the next.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know, I
yeah,
I don't see it as, oh, it failed. It just wasn't meant to be at that time,
yeah.
and just move on. Um, yeah, that mindset is absolutely important. So what else would you take into 2026?
So I'm going to share something that's going to also answer what Claire has said there, because she said I'm a people pleaser. I care a lot and I wear my heart on my sleeve. And
Okay.
I think one of the things that's really important for us all to carry in to the new year is having high self-worth.
Yes, I love that.
Because what
Sorry,
happens a lot of the
Ezra, sorry to cut you. I got to applaud that. I have to
yeah,
applaud it. You're
yeah.
right.
And the reason why I say this is because I work with a lot of people when I'm doing coaching and stuff,
Mm,
people who are people pleasers. And what I always say to those individuals is that it's so interesting how much people pleasers will magnify and amplify everyone else while minimize themselves.
mm,
And
that.
all I ask for those people is just match the
Mm,
way you see themselves to how you see yourself. The love you give to them to how much you love yourself.
yeah,
The care and attention you give to them to how much you give to yourself. Just be consistent.
yeah,
I'm not saying you have to do more for yourself. Just be consistent and you'll be fine.
yeah. That is true. That is true. Yeah, do you know what? I hear what Claire is saying. And I feel that breaking away from being a people pleaser and putting yourself first, have to give yourself permission to do that. Because
Mm,
if you could, you know, sometimes in life, you can keep giving, 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 and actually you're doing more harm than good. You're hindering those individuals rather than
mm,
supporting them.
mm,
They actually start to become reliant on you. They actually start to becoming having the expectation that you're going to do it anyway.
yeah,
So
yeah,
why do I need to do it? Jackie's going to do
yeah,
it anyway, you
yeah,
know. And when you don't do it, they're not happy with you because they're so used to, you have got them into a habit, right,
mm,
of always doing for them, to the point where it becomes an expectation. So actually, the day you decide not to make that cup of tea anymore, they're thinking, "What? Who do you think you are? Where's my tea?"
Now there's two side no, there's two things here that's really important. The first one
Yeah.
is that whenever we are doing that on a deeper level,
Mm,
we are robbing the person of their glory, because their glory is not seen in the moments when they're on stage. It's in the work that's done in the background.
mm.
And if we keep doing the work in the background, they will never get to the place of glory.
He's here. You hear that?
The second thing I want to say is this: if we, you, me, or whoever, is
Mm,
always doing for someone, and we have now created an environment and a sense of certainty to that being your character, when you just change, you have to respect the fact that you are changing from the person who they know you to be.
yeah, that's true.
And so not that I'm saying don't do it, but I'm saying that there has to be a process of you allowing the other person to now deal with the fact that you're no longer the person who you was, even though that was never you anyway, because you was
Yeah,
people pleasing or doing whatever. But you have to understand the person has accepted that this is how you are because that's what you've shown.
yeah, you're right. And that time when you do decide to make that shift,
Mm.
they kind of begrudge you for it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you have to have a conversation. You can't just change. You've got to say, do
Yeah.
you know what? Like, let's sit down. Let's talk about this. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? I've realized that I've been a people pleaser and I've been doing more than I should have been doing. Sometimes when I was tired and I was exhausted, I was doing it. And I've got to let you know that I'm gonna love myself now. So not that I'm not gonna do this at all, but there's gonna be change. You have to allow the person you can't just cut off and then expect the person to be okay with that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Sims has just put a comment there. I'm learning things will come when it's ready. Don't rush things. You know what? I kind of understand what Sims is saying there, but also as well, sometimes, yeah, things will come in time, but sometimes you've got to kind of help spur it on because if we're still doing the same thing, right? Things sometimes don't change.
Mm,
But sometimes we've got to kind of help it in the right direction.
yeah.
But yeah, nothing doesn't happen before it's time. I
Mm,
truly believe in that. Nothing doesn't happen before it's time.
mm,
Um, but just welcome everyone to the live. Ezra, the voice of reason, is here. We are happy to have him in the community again today. And, you know, this evening is particularly special because this is the last scheduled live because moving into next week and into the new year we're going to be doing a lot more impromptu lives, so popping up as and when.
mm,
um that's one of the things that kind of like I've stopped to think and reflect on, and
mm,
things have got to be put in. I'm more intentional with putting things in order of priority,
mm,
which is very important. But
mm.
yeah, good evening to everyone. If you're new to the community and you like what you're hearing, we've got Ezra, as I said, we're always going to have Ezra as long as he's got time for us. We're going to always have Ezra as a guest speaker. If you haven't followed the community, do follow, and then you know when we're going to be doing lives. And also give Ezra a follow as well. He's an amazing man, and the king we call him, and he's got some true gems here, I'm telling you. So if you've got any questions for him, we've got him until 8 o'clock this evening. If you've got any questions for him, please ask away. What do you mean? Okay, someone's saying, I'm getting into people's conversation. I'm staying out of it. Um, I've got A Willis here. Hey, A Willis, how are you? So true. I always put others first, sometimes to my own detriment. It's important to put yourself first, isn't it? Because I always say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ezra, I always say that if I'm pouring into someone else and my cup isn't full, my cup has to be overflowing in order for me to give you 100%.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I'm pouring from an empty cup, I'm giving you little crumbs,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
on top of that, what am I left with?
Mm,
So it's kind of like that, yeah, you have to stop. And maybe this is a time, the season to kind of look at that and reflect on that. And sometimes it can be hard to say no. But like I said, my no is my new yes.
mm,
You know, when people are
mm.
asking me questions, I will say no, gladly say no. And you know what? I don't need to give you an explanation to why I'm saying no.
Do you know the funniest thing,
Mm,
um, Jackie, is that anyone who struggles with saying no, right?
mm,
If this scenario was going on, I wonder how they'll deal with it. If their phone
yeah,
battery was almost dying, they only had about 5% left.
yeah,
and someone said, "Can I use your phone for 10 minutes? I need to make a call." What would they say?
That is true, you know. That I know I've got only 5% left on my phone,
Mm.
and someone's just asked me to use
And
my
you're
phone.
waiting for an important call as well,
Oh, heck
right?
no.
No, wait, but my point, the reason why I say this is because this is exactly what's going on in people's lives.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the phone, they would say no. They would
Mm,
invest the love in the phone to make sure the phone don't die, i.e.
yeah.
the health. But when it's ourselves and we're at 5%,
Yeah,
and
that is
we've
so
got
true.
important things for us to do for our own well-being, we still give our time, energy, and attention to other people who want that attention for 10 minutes, half an hour a day, and we die out.
You know, you just kind of like I think we need to be looking at things differently with a different pair of lens, right? For a different pair of lens. Because again, it's like relationships, for example.
Mm.
I was speaking to someone the other day about relationships and asking the question, do you know your worth? Why are
Mm.
you settling for that?
Yep,
And
I'm still here. I'm still
actually,
here. No.
is that relationship viable? If you look into a relationships or getting into a relationship,
Yeah.
ask yourself one question. If that relationship was a business and
Mm.
that person showed you their business acumen and you could see it, would you say that person is going to be a viable business?
Mm.
Would you invest in them if you saw their balance sheet was, you know, in the red? Would you invest in them? So why the heck would you have decide to be in a committed relationship with someone if you feel that as a business partner it wouldn't work? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of the problem is that whether it's in workplaces, business, or relationships,
Mm,
what happens a lot of the time is we look at it from the perspective of the potential of what could be and
yes.
bypass the reality of what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, oh no, 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 but I think when they change, even though they're showing you that they ain't gonna change, but
Yeah.
when they change, they'll be a great partner for me.
Yeah.
Or the business is in red and they've never done anything well, but once they get it, and and that's what people do, because sometimes we bypass reality because we want something so much.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
will it. We will it,
Yeah.
you know?
But ask you that question, what you've just said, if I do that, then am I not devaluing myself? There you go. Am I not devaluing myself?
I
Because
mean, I mean,
I'm
this,
not,
yeah.
I am actually compromising on what I want. I'm compromising on, okay, I would like this, but they're not quite there yet, but hopefully they'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually I'm devaluing myself right now.
It's the equivalent
Mm,
of going to a shop and you see a chair that you like, and the shop owner says, "This chair, the leg is 40.
mm,
It's 40, right? It might break. You're gonna have to do some stuff to really work on that leg so that it don't break on you." And then you go, "Okay, that's cool. No, it's got potential. It can work for me."
yeah,
And you don't do anything to sort out the chair. You don't put no boundaries in place. You don't do nothing to no super glue, no gorilla glue, no duct tape, nothing. And then you sit on the chair hoping for it to stand the test of time, and you'll
mm,
fall down and mash up your hip.
yeah. I shouldn't even laugh, you know. But it's true. It is absolutely true because you're hoping that it will last the test of time, like you said.
Yeah,
But you know, in the
yeah.
back of your mind, actually, you purchased that chair, knowing that it was 40 in the first place.
40 in the first place. And the reason why I said the chair, right? I'm sitting on the chair right now. Let me just show you something. For me to sit down
Yeah.
I'm giving total surrender, vulnerability, everything towards this
Mhm.
chair because I don't know. I can't see what's going on. I'm just trusting totally in this that it's going to uphold
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing in these relationships, in these workplaces. But the leg is faulty.
Mm. And you didn't do anything about
You
it.
done nothing. And you sat down the same way. You wasn't even careful. Like, let me just check it. You sat down the same way.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
drop and bust your hip.
Yeah. It's true. Clara said, relationships are so fragile. We trust and trust, don't we? And we will still get hurt. Do you know, this trust thing, it goes two ways, doesn't it? I
Mm,
feel that, particularly in relationships, whether that's a committed relationship with a partner or working relationship, we do put trust in people. But also, I think that we need to, um, we mustn't put aside our gut instincts, because you know what, as humans, we tend to show people what they want to see, right?
mm,
But there are genuine people out there, don't get me wrong, there are absolutely genuine people out there, but there are also some people that will only show you the good side of them.
mm.
But when something happens, they will show their true side. And I feel that, in relationships, that trust is something that you have to build on. You can't just give yourself someone trust just like that 100%. It's something that you can build on, you know.
Absolutely.
And I feel that when people break your trust, then is trust something that you can build back on? It can. Is it always going to be the same as before?
Well, I mean,
Ah,
I did a whole live on the power of trust a little while
yeah,
back. I think I think there's a few things here. I think the first thing is, what are the parameters that make you trust someone? What is it you see? What is it you hear? How long does it need to take?
yeah,
And that'll be different in different contexts, whether we're talking about business, a personal relationship, friend. It's different. It'll be different in different contexts. But that's the first thing. Like, what is it that then makes you trust someone? Is it because they said one thing to you? Is it because they just sound nice? Is it because they got charisma? Or is it that
mm,
you've seen them in difficult situations? You've seen them when they're angry and how they managed yourself. You've seen that when they make a mistake, they can own it. Like, what is it that makes you trust someone?
yeah,
That's the first thing. The second thing is, when we're talking about relationships, right? Relationships is not about a broken person coming to someone who's really strong and that person making them whole.
mm,
Everyone has an accountability and a responsibility to be to a certain degree within yourself so that it can be an interdependent relationship, not a dependent relationship.
very true.
Interdependence is where you both are strong enough by yourself, but when you come together, it's like transformers. It's like you form the ultimate,
Yeah,
right? And I think that a lot of the time, people are investing in someone else who they have magnified to make them be whole. And so, therefore, you've given too much trust over, and then you get burned because they didn't match up to what you perceived them to be.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a sticky one, this relationship thing, It's yeah, it is a deep conversation to have, an
Mm,
important one to have as well. Everyone will have a different perspective, absolutely have a different perspective. But I've always said, you know what? If you was to see a relationship like a business opportunity, and that
mm,
business was not going to be viable in 2 months' time, why the heck would you then invest your time in it?
mm,
Why would you? Because
mm,
it's like that saying, what are you bringing to the table?
mm,
This is what I'm bringing. What are you bringing? And that could be, it's not always about the financial side of things like that, but what are you bringing to the table? It's got to make sense.
mm,
Whether that is emotional support and things like that. And I feel that sometimes when people enter relationships, there's too much compromising going on.
Mm.
Why would you, when you go to buy a house, you know you want a 3 bedroom, ensuite, garage. Why would you then end up with a 1 bedroom basement flat? Do you understand? Make it make sense, bruh. Make it make
One
sense.
bedroom, you know, not even two. One bedroom.
Yeah. Why would you?
Yeah,
I
but
just think, yeah, just having that different mindset, different perspective on things just does change a lot.
yeah, but the thing is, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, Jackie, because
Mm.
the person might use some sweet talk and say, but you know what? Once I get sorted, we're gonna have a 4 bedroom with 2 en suites, and but like nothing in terms of what they said, what they've done, and even the consistency in what they're doing shows that they're gonna get there. But sometimes we will still, or not me personally, but people will still follow along with that. And I'm not saying that because look, sometimes when people meet certain people, they're broke and you know, but they do end up becoming millionaires. I'm not saying that, but
Mm,
all I'm saying is that we're talking about trust, right?
yeah,
And so the question being is, how long are you even talking to that individual before you feel you can trust them?
yeah,
How long is that? Like, and you know, even listen, anyone can be on their best behavior for a short period of time. The honeymoon period, anyone can do that.
true.
So if you don't even wait for the honeymoon period to be over before you jump into things,
Mm, yeah, relationships are a sticky one. I'm telling you, it's a
yeah,
sticky one.
yeah,
And
man.
I think as humans, we tend to not trust our gut instincts. When a gut instincts flares up, we kind of think, nah, because this thing that we call love kind of like puts dust over it and just makes it look better than it is.
Mm.
um yeah, we just need to just go with our gut instincts, and sometimes people cannot even see things. They're in denial, right? They're in that river in Egypt in
Mm.
denial.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Mm.
they just don't want to see,
Mm.
because sometimes the truth hurts, and actually if I admit that that's what's going on, then I'm gonna be hurt. It's a difficult one. It is
Truth
very
hurts, but
challenging.
deception kills.
Say that again.
The truth hurts, but deception kills.
Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. um I'm just checking some of these comments on here. You can see these comments, can't you?
Yeah. I see some of this thing about love. The thing is, love is a verb. I done a live on that recently as well. Love
Yeah,
is a verb.
yeah, that is true. That is
How-
true. I
You
remember
know,
writing a poem years ago about love. What is it actually? I think we use the term quite loosely, don't we?
yeah.
We absolutely use that term love loosely. What does it actually mean?
Mm.
When you love someone, you will do anything in your power for them. But then, are you expecting something in return? Yeah, again, it's one of them
Oh, yeah.
crazy ones.
I was listening to Pearl. Is it Pearl Esther? Her name, psychologist. She deals a lot on relationships and love, and I was listening to some of her stuff. But one of the things she said, which I found very interesting, she said, is that love is ambivalent. It's like
Mm,
there is some things that in a relationship that you don't particularly like, but you will do it because your partner likes it.
yeah,
You know, and not everything, but I'm saying this what you're saying with some things. And then she said there's sometimes where, and she said, you don't have to like every part of the person to love them.
that's very true. That's absolutely true.
And the point is that when we are really understanding love and not just ooh, I mean love, but actually the
Mm,
reality of it, and it's a verb, it's an action. It's when you're doing those things. It's
yeah,
when you actually do that thing that you don't particularly, you don't even care about it, but you know your partner really likes it, so you do that
Mm.
thing once in a while for them.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Oh my goodness me. Listen. This relationship and love thing is just a whole different ball game, whole different ball game.
Mm,
You know, I'm looking at the time now. It's coming up to quarter to 8 now. We have got what, 15, well, just over 15 minutes of your time left.
mm.
And we want to use it wisely. And I hope that you'll be back again in the community when you have time. We so appreciate you coming. But it's like, you know, I kind of think that I would love you to give some words of wisdom to the community members right now. Those of you, everyone listening in on the For You page, kind of give some words of wisdom, because I know, you know, when you speak, you move mountains. You absolutely move mountains. And just to kind of like, in terms of mindset, motivation, something that they can kind of take into the new year, their new chapter, however they want to see it as,
Okay.
you know?
Okay. So I think one thing that I think is quite useful, and I do it with clients a lot of the time, is um, around identity.
Mm,
Because identity is the top of the pyramid. And then under that comes your beliefs, your values, your mindset, your attitudes, and then
mm,
your actions, right? And so let me just set the tone first about what is identity. So imagine there is two people who are in a group of friends
mm,
and they decide that they want to stop smoking cigarettes, right?
yeah.
So they say one is John, the other is Sally.
Mm-hmm.
And so they both agree we're going to stop. And they normally go out with friends. There's a group of friends, and when they go out, they'll be drinking, they'll go outside to smoke. So they all go out still, even though they're not going to smoke. And so
Mm,
someone offers John a cigarette, and John says, no, 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 I'm trying to quit.
mm,
Go, all right, you know. And says, oh, Sally, do you want a cigarette? Sally goes, no, I'm not a smoker. Do you notice the difference in the two responses there?
mm. One saying I'm trying to, and the other one saying, no, I'm not a smoker.
Right. So at
Yeah.
an identity level,
Mm,
John is still a smoker.
yeah.
At an identity level, Sally isn't.
Yeah.
So what that means is when they both get stressed, John is going to end up smoking because his identity is that he is still a smoker that is trying to stop. Sally, smoking is not an option, so she's not going to go to that regardless. That's not something she does.
Mm,
So when people try to deal with situations and they're doing all this thinking and their mindsets, but their identity is still outdated, it's
mm,
futile,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which then asks the question, how do you change your identity?
Mm,
So it is simple, but not easy. So every time, before I say that, so think of it this way: anytime we're going to get a new president, a new prime minister, they have to go through a process, right?
yeah.
An election, a voting period, right?
Yeah.
Before that person is elected. The same thing is true for your identity. Now, in terms of the votes, right? Because there is the old you and there is the new you, right?
Yeah.
And these two are at war with each other. Now, in this election, right, the old you and the new you, every vote is determined by every thought you think, by
Yeah.
every word you say, and every action you take. So with the
Absolutely.
60 to 70,000 thoughts we have each day, each one of those is a vote, either in the favor of the old you, thinking the old ways, stinking thinking, being hard on yourself, being judgmental, saying I'm not good enough. They're all votes in the old you. You're making that person win. But then when you say, oh, no, I am good enough, I can do this. When you're saying mantras for yourself, when you're doing your mindfulness, when you're exercising self-care, when you're doing all of those things, when you're speaking highly of yourself, when you're visualizing to see yourself in a future state, when you're doing all of that stuff, when the things you're saying is life and not death, you're making votes in the new you, and then the actions you take. When you step forward, even though you may be nervous rather than procrastinate, that's in favor of the new you. When you say yes to a new challenge where you normally go, I'm not ready yet, that's in favor of the new you. And whoever gets the most votes wins.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's simple, but not easy. And so
Yeah.
if you want to upgrade your identity, if you want to get to 2.3 or 2.4 version of yourself, know that you're in a voting system. This is why intentionality is so important.
Yeah. Definitely. Intention. You can't, I don't think you can go into, particularly when it's for yourself, you cannot, because you would never give a friend or a family member something half-heartedly, right? So why are we doing it for ourselves? When we do it for ourselves, we're not putting that effort and that time in.
Mm, mm.
I just,
And the question you have to ask ourselves is, and the answer is not seen by your words, it's seen by your actions. But how much do we truly love ourselves?
Yeah, ask me that again. Ask me that again.
How much do we truly love ourselves? You know,
Oh,
if there was a fly on a wall and it was just observing us, and it was observing what we're doing, it was observing every time when we were tired, but we still went and did something for someone else. And I'm not saying that, you know, there's times when we sacrifice and we help people. I'm not saying that we don't ever do it, but I'm just saying, like, how much times when, as you said earlier, sometimes your body's just saying you need to rest and
oh,
you listen to it. But
I
something,
tell
no,
you,
I got to do it this time. And it's like, how much are we showing that we truly do care for ourselves?
it's true. It's true. I was originally supposed to be on here this evening from 7 o'clock. I told everyone yesterday, I'll be on at 7 o'clock. Listen, my body just needed to rest.
Mm,
I was up this morning doing some core exercises at 6:30 this morning, and I needed to rest. So that's what I
mm,
done. I listened to my body.
mm,
I can't be giving everyone, the spill and not doing it for myself.
mm.
That will kind of be hypocritical of me.
Yeah.
So I need to kind of listen to, what advice I'm giving to others as well and taking it for myself. And
Yeah.
that old question about, do you truly love yourself? Do you love yourself? Are you spending that time, giving yourself the time? And that could be with anything. You know, I'll get out the shower and I'll start, using the oil on my skin. I'm taking my time because I deserve to be pampered right now. And I'm just take every cuticle on my fingers are just getting a little massage while you need them things,
Mm, mm.
rather than rushing and saying, I need to be here, and
Yeah.
give yourself the time.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. And it's so important because nothing, nothing is going to happen overnight. Like when you're not giving yourself time, when you're not exercising and you're not doing self-care, it's you're not going to see it straight away. That's why people can go for so long without doing it. But
Yeah.
there is a breaking point. There is a breaking point. There's a point when your nails just become brittle. There's a point when, where you have, brain fog outside of menopause. Like it's because you're not having time and resting and giving yourself, your body, what it needs. And so it will just shut down. Your body will just shut down. It'll go, okay, we're playing it like that. All right. The body will shut down.
Yeah.
There's no battle we're winning against our body.
Yeah.
It's gonna
That's
get the
true.
rest one way or another.
It's true. Exactly. And you just hope that it's not, the most inappropriate time, like driving, because when your body's ready to sleep, it will sleep even behind the wheel.
Mm,
It's
mm,
it's it's a it's That's reality.
yeah.
Claire's asked, do we think we are worthy because we think other people are? Do we think we are worthy because we think other people are? Well, I mean, I don't even think about other people, to be honest with you, when it comes to worthiness. I always just think, I know I'm worthy.
That's it.
I'm worthy of the respect. I'm worthy of, if I'm going to someone's house or I'm going out to a restaurant, I want that chef to be cooking up like I'm a queen right now, because if it ain't right, I'm sending it back.
Mm.
And to be honest with you, when they say, "Oh, do you want me to do another one?" I say, "No, it's okay." Because I've already told you that your food weren't good. So why are you gonna? I'm gonna let you cook a next thing for me after I just told you the food ain't good. No, do you know? So you have to feel that you are worthy. You know, and those people who are finding it challenging to feel they're worthy, because don't get me wrong, there are going to be factors to take into play, and it may be that you know was raised in a way that, or you experience certain things in your
Mm.
life that
Mm.
don't allow you to feel that you are worthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get it. I've been there, you know, but I know I am absolutely worthy. It's taken time, like you said earlier on.
Mm.
It's simple, but it's not always easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But being consistent and intentional has got me where I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has been so worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Gen X put a comment
Mm,
in there and says life can be so hectic at times. I agree. We need to value our own time to reset. Saying no can be hard. And I just want to say everything is hard before it becomes easy.
that's true, you know. That is true. I like that one. That is very true.
And so a lot of the time, people, when they say that, I'm not saying this is what you're doing, Jen, but the mind can play tricks on us. And
Yeah.
sometimes we talk ourselves out of things by the things what we're saying. So when we say it can be so hard, it can be so hard, it can be so hard. Subconsciously, what's happening is your brain is then going to put up pictures and images of it being so hard to make you not want to do that thing.
Yeah.
Because of where the mind goes, the energy flows. And this is why I always say to people, when you be intentional about, and I'm not saying be deluded. So I'm saying when you say this challenge is going to be so good for me, I'm going
Mm,
to grow through this period in my life. There's going to be such learning experiences. You're not divorcing yourself from the fact that it's going to be hard, but you're
mm.
not saying it's going to be hard because your brain can only interpret that one way. Be
Yeah,
fearful.
that is true. That is absolutely true. So you're kind of saying that it's the way we are speaking about things, right? The words we are
Absolutely.
using is so important.
Absolutely. It's the narrative.
Yeah.
And again, voting
Mm,
is voting. Are you going to do it in favor of the new you or the old you?
yeah, that's true. That is very true. There's kind of so many things to think of, but you know, I again in my message today to the community, I just wish everyone that they are moving into this new season, because it is a new season, a new chapter, however you want to phrase it, with so much intention, you
Mm,
know, and moving forward with grace and kindness to themselves, first and
mm,
foremost, before they give it to anyone else.
mm,
Um, and and remembering to just be unapologetic about things.
mm. Yeah. And, if anyone um, is interested in really getting disciplined and getting yourself ready for the new year, so I do have a program that I've developed, which is called the Discipline Principle.
Mm,
And it's I've got it trademarked. It's my program that I've developed. But
lovely.
there is what it is, the formula for
Mm,
discipline is clarity plus
mm,
purpose plus commitment minus emotional resistance and distractions equals discipline.
yeah.
And with this toolkit, with this system, if you get the foundational package, there's 12 toolkits you get with it. If you get the
Mm,
premium package, you get 22 toolkits. And They are toolkits where I have looked at the research, neuroscience, psychology, various things, and given you a breakdown things to give you simple step by step processes to doing things. There's trackers, there's habit stacking, there's I talk about the free brain. So you said earlier about people don't use their gut feeling. I break down the science of the three different brains, the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain, and the different intelligence that they have and how we can use them to help us to make better decision making. There's a toolkit on clarity, there's a toolkit on purpose, there's a toolkit on commitment. There's one toolkit which looks at the 7 stages from kind of comfort zones to thriving, and with each of those stages it gives you what is the mindset, what's the habits, what's the behaviors, and what's the consequences that come out of those. So it's just a whole package that I took time to work on, and to give people the step-by-step processes as if I was with them talking them through it.
Yeah.
You know, so if any of you, the link is on my website. If you go, my website is in my bio. If you go into my website and then you type in the discipline principle, it will come up. And there's various other resources in there as well. Some of them free, but if you want to get yourself right, there's loads of tools there to help you.
Yeah. No, that's appreciate that. So, you know, if you are not following Ezra, Voice of Reason, give him a follow. Always got some amazing gems, you know. I think we've kind of like had I don't know what I was expecting today. Actually, you know, we just do it freestyle, but it's been kind of some deep talk today. I mean, we always go into a lot of mindset and motivation, but we've kind of veered off onto a few things as well. But it's coming up to 9, and I want to thank you, and I can speak for the community members as well. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for gracing us again with wisdom, you know, and the knowledge, and kind of like those gems that you're giving us to kind of motivate us even more so. Yeah, and I hope that, you know, you will come back to the community again. And we're always going to be hounding you to come back because we appreciate you. And I feel that I'm going to sign off in a minute. And actually, I'm going to sign off first, and I'm going to ask you to finish with one gem. Okay, so if I finish off with my 2 ways that I always finish off, I always tell everyone, give everyone a virtual hug. And the second way, I always remind everyone that they are not alone. And if they do feel alone, that they must reach out to someone who they trust, that will understand them, and that will listen to them as well. And if they not reaching out to me, they reach out to someone else. But I'm going to get you to just give the last sign off this evening.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So the last thing that I would say and want to leave with you is that bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. You know, the interesting thing is that the change, the growth, the breakthrough you want is tied up in the thing that you are avoiding. Bet on yourself, because human beings are like tea bags. You don't know how strong you are until you're in hot water. Bet on yourself.
Ezra, the voice of reason, King, thank you very much for gracing us again with your presence, your knowledge, and all those gems you're giving us. And do you know what? I wish you prosperity and happiness.
Thank you.
And good health.
Yes.
Yeah, because with those things, you know, everything else just flows in.
Everything else flows.
I'm telling you. And I will definitely look forward to having you back in the community soon.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
But stay blessed. And everyone in the community, stay blessed. I will see you next week sometime. Remember, we're doing impromptu lives now rather than these 3. I've already changed that in the heading as well in the bio. But, you know, don't forget to give Ezra a follow. And we will see you very soon. Good evening, everyone. Stay blessed. Bye, Ezra.
Bye.
Bye.